It's 5 minutes after 6, so I guess we'll get started.
Yes, I second the motion.
Okay. Good evening, welcome to the Public Safety Building Committee meeting. This meeting is being recorded for cablecast and YouTube presentation by Area 58 Community Access Media. The video of this meeting is not to be considered an official public record. Alrighty. Jake, did you get the agenda?
Yep.
And did you have a chance to look at the minutes?
No.
Alrighty. Here's my copy. It's got a couple amendments on it, but
You had edits?
alright, so the first item of business is in fact the minutes, so we'll give Jake a minute to take a look at that. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the warrant articles. I will be making the motions at town meeting, and I would be happy for any advice or words of wisdom, and certainly you will also be welcome to stand up as members of the public to speak.
And committee members.
And committee members too.
So then I need to post it. Well, we won't be deliberating.
Won't be deliberating.
All right, so as committee
No,
members
I
as
mean,
well.
I don't think.
It's never done before, unless you have a meeting prior to
Right.
the meeting.
We
You don't have to
posted, we
post
posted
it.
school committee just in case we needed to talk about something ahead of time, but
Right.
you have multiple people from different committees getting up and speaking, both as residents, as members of the committee, so I think
Yeah.
that's okay.
Okay, so then.
And all
both as
town meeting is publicly
residents
noticed, so.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a couple amendments on the minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
David Scammon, 2 M's.
I couldn't read.
It's in, under the attendees,
Oh.
first paragraph, line
I clearly couldn't
3 or
read.
4.
SCAMM.
MM.
Okay.
And I will admit to going to ModSpace's site to look it up because I thought it was Scanlon.
Yep, okay.
All right, and then in the last bullet on that page, in the second sentence, including training proper to hand over the building. Just, I don't quite know
Proper
what you were
training.
going for there.
Yeah.
Proper
Just a
training.
little clarity.
Oh, just reverse the words?
Yep.
Proper training.
Okay,
Okay.
so any other amendments?
Second bullet, third, I'm sorry. The word "and," I think you meant "and," just "and."
Provided and over, yeah?
Oh,
Okay. Anything else? Yeah, you got some red lines there you wanna,
That was it.
okay.
excellent.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes from April 27th as read, as amended.
Do we have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, minutes are taken care of. I know you saw it, but I have an extra copy so you know have it. Okay, so there are some articles that we need to think about. It's Article 36 is our primary article, which is the raise and appropriate or transfer from available funds the sum of $125,000 to be added to that appropriated under Article 17 for the May 13, 2015 annual town meeting for an engineering project consultant to review plans, requests for proposals, and final bids for construction of public safety facilities and related infrastructure improvements, and to provide further that the sums appropriated under said Article 17 and under this article may be used in connection with both police and public fire safety facilities or take any other action relative thereto. This has been recommended by both the Board of Selectmen and by FinCom. And John raised a concern at last meeting, and I did speak with town council, and
Redrafted a little bit.
yes, we did redraft it.
The concern, I think if you guys remember, I was concerned that we were looking for the consultant to just consult And we don't know whether we just want the consultant to consult or whether we want the consultant to actually make up any plans or...
That was gonna be my comment.
Exactly. So, when I reviewed the language, we made some edits, got them to Colleen and Mark, and they reviewed it with town council, and town council basically agreed with the changes that we made. So do you want to read maybe the...
That is what I have as the final draft, which is...
No.
All right, let me see.
You sent it to me.
I did. 22.
No, this is what you have. This is,
35. Get wrong one.
review and draft plans. Yeah, it's in the
It's in the
motion.
motion,
It's in the
okay.
motion. So the motion reads now, the higher, and this is the other thing I was worried about, is that if we decided to go with ModSpace to choose someone like ModSpace or someone like them to do the modular building plans, we were now limited in the article because it said a consultant. So it said one or more engineering project consultants to review and draft plans, request for proposal and final bids for construction of public safety facilities, and related infrastructure improvements. So that could deal with
Oh, that covers
that
everything,
stuff
yeah.
here, and perhaps even thinking about up here, and to provide for the sums appropriated, blah, blah. So I think that, well, and town council agreed that, because I listed what my concerns were, and then the redrafted language so that we are broad enough that we don't get hemmed in like we did this time. And because hopefully it's really straightforward, and we don't need to, one, spend the whole
No,
sum, or
because-
two, have to be, do
Really,
multiple people, but we want to be able to do what we need
His
to do.
job, if we decide to go with one, would be the police chiefs to design the inside of the structure. I wouldn't want this guy to say what we need inside the structure.
Sure, we would do.
We
Yeah.
want the, well, the chief is gonna say, this is what I want.
Yeah.
I would like the consultant typically to say, yeah, it makes sense, or,
Yeah.
oh, did you think about this?
Right. But
And then we go,
he-
oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
He
you
would
know?
be my primary decision.
For the inside of the station, and then for outside, whether you use the consultant, or we would hire ModSpace or someone similar to do the design on the outside, you'd still want our consultant to go, you know, maybe if we, to make sure that we're addressing
Yeah.
any of our concerns. And then when we get to the fire station piece of it, that already seems pretty likely that you're gonna need to do something more than just do a modular building. Modular could be part of it, but then you need to put in that other piece. And so hopefully this language is broad enough that we can get a plan, and again, as we've talked about before, make sure it is in appropriate stages so that we can do this as appropriate and as needed out over time. You know, I mean, that's the whole point. So then we have everything said and done, and we know what the costs are. That can be put against what we hear back from the Collins group, and working with the rest of the town boards to be able to understand how the project can go forward. With, of course, the focus on the police station, which is sort of the most immediate concern. But we don't want to do any work in the police station that then hampers us later.
Say it again?
We don't want to do any work in the police station that then hampers us later,
Oh.
or that we then have to redo because of
Yeah.
what we choose later. So,
But this language sounds
I
like
think
it
it's...
covers everything.
I hope so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, we have to have some wiggle room.
Right.
So I will move that as written, and then it will be opened up for discussion, and we're all free to speak. I'll probably,
The way it's worded right now, this wouldn't preclude us from renovating the fire station if in time.
Says
that
for
comes-
plans, yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, we don't have time to have that discussion before Wednesday, so I think it's broad enough that we should be able to
Yeah, get one stage done.
do what's in front of us.
and I don't think any of us are anxious to rush into the police station, I mean, the fire station.
Not at all.
So this, but we want to have
We have a
the whole picture
comprehensive
here.
picture,
Yeah.
and it may be that we ask both to have a, you know, who knows, we get to have a plan,
Mhm.
so that we know what it would do and what that would cost, and then to have an assessment as well, related infrastructure.
Right.
And then you sort of have, you might have a path of two different next steps after the police station is done. But again, I think it's our job to put out to, you know, our residents, what the projected costs are, what that means, and make sure that they can see all of that when they're coming in to spend either just for a police station or anything more. Because they're all both big, big items. And I think it's important for people to have the full picture, which I think this is what will get us.
So what I was wondering as well is, do you think we should have any of our conceptual drawings available? You know there's going to be kickback.
We'd have to get a good sized blower.
That's not difficult, I can do that.
Yeah, we really don't know.
No, I'm not sure.
We don't-
really want to get into.
No, because we don't know what the building's gonna look like. We haven't
Yeah,
decided the building.
From my perspective, I've been through this a couple of times with other towns.
Yeah.
If you put up a preliminary drawing first, someone's gonna get that stuck in their head and
Yeah.
they'll
They're
find
gonna
some
think
way
it's
to be
gospel
against it.
and-
And
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
because we haven't got it
that's the
defined yet.
whole game.
I think we can speak to it, and we can, if people really want to take a look after town meeting, they can go to the website and see them in the minutes.
Yeah.
It's a concept, it's just that, it's a conceptual drawing. It's to make sure that we, that things could fit, and it's nothing more than that. We need the consultant to make sure that the conceptual drawing can become a real drawing.
Most of them, at this period of time, are just worried about the location. Where is it gonna be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, we've answered that, hopefully.
We're hoping for an answer to that, yes. But that also has to pass, and the deal has to be completed.
And is that article before or
I was
after
gonna
this
say,
one?
what article is that one?
22, I think.
22, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
No, wait a minute. No. Where is it? Parcel of land, it's 35, and then this is, consultant is 36.
Okay, well, so you
It's
have,
before.
you have two discussion sets to start off with.
Yeah.
I mean, we've,
Does it look like we're gonna get it done in one night for the town meeting?
I think
Jake,
that we're...
I think that
we're
you're not gonna
planning.
know that till about 9:30 or 10 o'clock.
Yeah. There are
It
a lot of articles to discuss, and I think,
it all depends on how much discussion we have and how many people are there, and
certainly would be nice if we got through them all, and I'd be willing to stay in a little later to get it done in one night, but we don't know that.
How many articles altogether?
41?
I mean, it's not the longest from an article perspective. It's all,
More
I mean,
discussions on them.
but
Yes.
you've had meetings where you thought you're gonna go in and everything is gonna be forever on this, that, and the other thing, and
Yeah,
You
no
know,
questions and they go right to.
nobody talks about any of the ones you thought they would, and then you end up for 30 minutes on one article, and you're like,
Yeah.
how did we get down this? But, Colleen, does it make sense, after moving it, to just give a brief,
That's
high-level
my next
overview, and
question,
then?
is you want me to do a little presentation? We've been working on this for ever, 6, 10 months. We feel that the best plan is to have a consultant come in to help us get a picture of the whole campus, where we're going to locate the new police station, where we could potentially locate, or how we would renovate.
Yeah.
Just,
I mean, I think it's important too to note that, this was already thought of, but I think the piece that sort of was missing in that is an understanding of how much work would really need to be done from a consultant to get to firm numbers.
yeah.
I mean, I think, we could have spent the 25 and had some more notional stuff, but we still don't end up with, here's your RFP for getting the building built. Here are the
Amount of time he's gonna have to.
here is the, we have enough notional. We need some good specifics to be able to turn to town meeting and say we need you to spend, $1.5 to $1.75 million. I mean, it's the biggest project we've done since the schools.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. So this is, and, if you think about it, when they did the school, I mean, they put up a fair amount of money up front to be able to have the architect and do all the design, and then they came back with, this is how much it's going to cost. It's sort of the same thing. We're trying to make sure that we can come in and say, we're looking for this much money because this is the work that's been done. And we feel comfortable that we haven't missed something. And I've been saying that from the beginning, that that's the biggest scare, is that you go down a path and then you realize, oh, yeah, we didn't think about that thing. And, either you cost overrun or you whatever.
This police station is pretty basic. Though.
It is.
It's
yeah.
like a big house. It's,
But we're finally planning with the the Collins group, and even for this project. I mean, we do have all the work that was done
yeah.
by the prior consultant, which is all still very good work and has helped to get us to where we are. But we're planning, and you can't plan if you don't know what all those different pieces are. Even if we decide, you know what, we don't want a new fire station, or we don't want to renovate, or we don't want whatever that is, we have the information to make that good decision. And
Yes.
that's what I think is so important.
Yeah, and I also think it's important to me, it's important to get across the point that this is for the whole complex. It's redesigning the parking so that
We
there's
don't
actually
have what
parking
happened
here.
the other day.
We parked on the little strip of grass
Oh, yeah,
last night.
yeah.
I want to make sure to emphasize that this is to avoid duplication of doing work multiple times. If you're going to be doing a project in phases, you don't want to do the same $100,000 driveway sewer work
Right.
twice.
When we have it open, let's lay it. Even if you don't, it's going to be cheaper to do that than it is to go back later and redo.
For example, I grew up on the vineyard in our town. We ripped up Main Street to put in new sewer lines. And at the same time, our DPW chief said, let's put some conduit in there so we can locate the electric lines underground at a later date. We won't have to tear up the street again. Saved $750,000 and a lot of headache.
Right.
That's the kind of stuff here
Yeah.
is good to sell.
I think we need to let the townspeople know that, we do have the Collins report. And I'm willing to guess most people don't even know that we have that we had something that we started with.
Oh, you got the
Reinhardt.
Reinhardt.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, wrong one. But,
Yep.
so that,
Yeah,
they
I
need
will
to
mention
know that
in
this
the
is not
previous
something we
committee.
just started this year. I mean, it's been working for a long time.
Yeah, we had the Reinhardt and we had the
The line.
public buildings
Yeah.
needs,
Committee.
public buildings study. Yeah, you know what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say.
Yeah.
The needs study.
Yeah.
So, and that we're just the third iteration, the third phase of getting this project moving forward.
And I think if we need to, if you have folks that get up and say, well, this is, you're not getting anywhere fast enough. I mean, we're trying to make sure, and I think we've done that, is we have answered a lot of questions since August. But we also don't want to rush something and end up not making the best decisions when we're spending this much money. I mean, it's not, all you hear about is, concern about taxes. And even though the vision is that this money comes out of the capital purpose, or capital stabilization, it's still our taxes. It's still our money.
It's still our money.
And so you gotta make sure we're doing this right, and we gotta make sure we have all the information. And we also need to make sure that we address the needs for the police department. And I think everyone is all marching in that same direction. We just need to make sure that we got it right. Because,
Well, every mistake costs money.
right, and,
Every question.
Yeah.
and it could have been, an issue if we had pushed ahead last year with building the police station, just because everyone had thought that modular was going to be so much cheaper and this and the other thing. And now we know there are benefits to it, but it's not necessarily dollar per square foot cheaper.
Right.
So we'll evaluate that. It's still very attractive. I mean, because of some of the other things. I think in the end, it can end up being a little bit cheaper because you don't have,
Right.
Jake and I were talking about the other day, you don't have as many
Right.
change orders, you don't have, it can do it quicker.
Time-wise.
That's great. But,
My big concern is on the thing that we get a multiple choice on the front entrance. That's gonna sell if we do it that way. We can't have a Morton building book.
no, absolutely. I mean, we're gonna be looking at this thing for,
Yeah.
how old fire station
That's
built in
where I think
1970, basically?
Our main look
So-
has to look at
Right.
how do we present it.
It'd be 50 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, You know, and there's a number of different options, a number of great materials nowadays that we can use to make sure it's low maintenance and all of that. And honestly, that will be kind of the fun part.
Most people don't really care how many rooms you got, who's
Right.
got what room, or what it is. It's just when they walk up to the building, this is what they bought.
Yeah.
That's why I get on this committee for the fun part.
Yeah. Sorry, we haven't gotten there yet.
Not yet. I'm waiting.
So, okay.
All right, so I will write something, and then obviously, you folks can
Yep.
fill in the blanks, the things that I missed, the questions that come up, because frankly, I'm not a fast thinker.
Right.
I think with a
Well-
pen in my hand, and you're not with a microphone.
When you're at the, you're gonna be up front, or you're gonna come
Yeah.
out?
I will be.
No, it'll be fun.
Go sit beside her, Harry, but just when she presents it, you know?
Yeah.
So if somebody
I'm
asks
sure we
a
can
que-
handle
if
it.
somebody asks a question that she can't answer, then you
No,
say.
no, that, you can stand up from the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're on the committee, and
Yeah.
and you have expertise, so
Happy to do
that's
that.
fine. So,
Yeah, just point at us.
Yeah.
If the question is not answerable, then you go,
yep. All right, so then, I don't know, to me, this is an elephant in the room, but I'm gonna talk about it. This is Article 22, which is the citizens petition to get the citizens to vote for a police station now. And I think that both the Board of Selectmen and FinCom have not recommended this. I think that maybe we should take a vote on it as a committee. I think it undermines what we just said about hiring a consultant, and that we don't want to necessarily just jump into building this building without thinking through.
I think we should build it and have the authority to build it, because we could do phases in the beginning, once we have the consultant, we get the numbers, like clearing the area, putting a foundation in, and doing the retaining stuff, all that could be done. And it's gonna be in stages, that you don't do the whole thing, but you start walking towards it. Yeah, because we don't know how the economy is gonna be when we start this. If everybody's flat, buried in work, this is gonna be, we're gonna be chasing for numbers. If we get some of the numbers, then that gives us where we're going.
No.
I think it's totally premature. I think to me, I don't understand the concept of being so concerned about tax rate and taxes, and then throwing a $2 million number out there and saying,
Yeah.
well, we have a blank check up to $2 million. I don't think that's a good sell.
Well-
I think we have a definite, defined, and clear need. The chief has said over and over again, anyone wants to come take a tour, just give him a call, he's happy to show you around up there.
Yeah.
And I think that with Collins Group information, which we will have well before we go to town meeting next year, with detailed information about what this is gonna cost and what we're getting for the money, as well as pretty pictures and you know, diagrams of this is where it's gonna go, and all of that comes out way before town meeting, that we're gonna be able to make the case for the police station, I think, regardless of what the economy is going to be doing at that point, because we should have the numbers to support it.
Ross?
I'm just thinking it from a pure citizen's perspective, it's you're gonna spend a whole lot more of money if you have well, this is how much I can spend. You're gonna spend up to that, you know, right away. But if you come at it with a plan and know exactly, chances are you're gonna be below that. And just, it's human nature to go, okay, I have $2 million, I'm gonna spend the $2 million. But we could probably come in significantly cheaper if we do it the right way and go through it. That would,
Yeah, I also kind of think it just undermines the whole consultant and the whole idea of making a smart, feasible plan.
So what does this citizens petition say? I mean, who's gonna do it? How is it worded?
Just to give them money.
It says, to see if the town will vote to transfer from capital stabilization the sum of $250,000 and to borrow an amount not to exceed $1,750,000 for a period of 20 to 30 years repayment to be made in annual installments from capital stabilization to plan, design, and construct police department facilities and related infrastructure, including entrance, exit ways, and parking lot, or to take any other action relative thereto. And I think that, you know, a lot of that is what we're expecting the consultant to do, and
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good idea.
But that's sort of open-ended. I mean, who's gonna do this? I mean, if they vote for it, then they have to vote.
I did quite a few
Study.
jobs out of state.
Mhm.
And before I even got to the job, we had the site cleared and everything, so when we went in, we were ready to go.
Mhm.
And that we always found was the easiest way, because if there was any changes to be made, you see what you're dealing with. And the way it's wooded right now, you really don't see where you're gonna put your retention pond, how it's gonna fit. And it's nicer to see a clean sheet, which we're gonna have to pay. If it goes with the big package, then we have to pay prevailing rate on that. And this way here, you are, as a selectman, you're responsible for town forest. So you can actually have it cut now and not pay prevailing rate. You would probably sell the pine.
You're talking about if we get that other piece of
No,
property.
even this one here, even if we're gonna go, even when the police station's gonna go,
Mhm.
then prep the lot.
But I'm not sure that we would need Article 22 to do that.
You know?
That's talking about building the building and hiring.
No, it's not building the building, it's just getting,
It says to plan, design, and construct.
yeah.
Folks, don't
Just
forget
saying.
that Article 22 is essentially offering a funding source that isn't available in the way that article is written. Capital stabilization, rightly or wrongly, when we did the state legislation, required the Finance Committee, the Capital Committee, and the Board of Selectmen each to vote on this as well as town meeting. So the article as written just doesn't work. That's not a legitimate funding source. So I'm not sure we're not just spinning our wheels on this. I think there is the concern as well, though a citizen's petition certainly can be a vehicle when needed for citizens. It can also be a way to thwart the thoughtful, deliberative work of a body like this that's been working for a year. And in fact, this is the third iteration of this committee. There really is committees that have been working for 4 years. And for a few citizens to thwart a thoughtful, prolonged, careful process is kind of nuts.
I would not vote for it, so for whatever it's worth, I would not vote for that article.
Well, I just feel that basically as a committee, we have already decided that the way to go is the consultant. And that's the position that we should
Yeah.
support as a committee.
Oh, yeah.
And although this
And-
article is going to be presented by a committee member, I don't want him to speak as though he's as he's representing this committee, because I don't feel that he is.
And, I mean, I think just for the record, you know, I think all of us doing this work understand the need for the police station. And
Absolutely.
to do it as, you know, as efficiently and quickly as possible, but we also have the duty to make sure we're doing it as properly as possible from a fiscal perspective. I'm not going to say cheaply, because that's not the focus here, but it's to make sure that any money spent is spent appropriately from a long-term perspective, and that we have the money to do it, and we understand where it's coming from, and that's the Collins Group report, which we do not have yet. And so while I certainly understand the desire to highlight the needs for the police department, I will not support the article. I think it's not the right way about it. It's a lot of money.
I signed it.
Yeah. So, I guess I guess what I'd like is for us to vote as a committee to, and please tell me if I'm premature here or not thinking right, but as I said, I don't want this to be presented as though it has this committee's backing, because I don't think it has the majority of this committee's backing. So is that worth putting in a motion and my speaking to the presenter?
I think so. I mean, I think everyone is certainly welcome to present a citizen's petition as it is and to speak their own piece. I think it is different when you're looking at the committee's perspective. You know, if the committee, depending on the vote, right?
All right, so my motion would be that we, oh gosh, I said it a second ago. That as a committee, we are not supporting Article 22, and that the people who are putting forth that petition are not speaking for this committee. Individually, you have a right to stand up and say whatever you want to
I
say.
understand.
You're just not speaking for this committee.
Yeah, no problem with that.
Okay, do I have a second on that?
I'll second that.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so that's done. And then the only other motion that sort of affects us, or the article, is the purchase of the land, and we're just still working on that as best we can, so there isn't really anything to discuss.
And that's 35.
That was 35, yes. So the last thing on the agenda then is, do we have anything else that we want to talk about tonight? Anything that we've raised before? And then when do we want to meet next?
I will be away both on the 25th and the 1st of June. I'll be gone for 12, 15, 13 or 14 days, starting the 25th. So.
Okay.
We really haven't got anything pressing for next week anyways, right?
No, well, next
next
week
week
is.
we'll be at town
is our
meeting.
Yeah.
The following week, again, I don't see that we really have anything pressing, but,
No,
so we can meet on
Tentative.
June 1st.
unless something jumps up, we can always
Yeah.
call a meeting.
So we'll plan on June 1st and see how we go from there. All right, I'll entertain a motion to
Adjourn.
adjourn.
Seconded.
Motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn the Board of Selectmen meeting?
Aye.
In favor, aye. Okay, so we're done. Thank you. Thank you all for watching. Come to town meeting.